got the intercooler for my van. So Airtec have supplied an intercooler for my 1.9 Astra van GTB 2260. I guess it's a project. It's not really a project. It's my daily van, but it's outside at the minute with waiting for the gearbox to be done on it. But as soon as that's done, we're getting that turbo on. So intercooler is obviously supplied. We've got it here, so I thought we'd do an unboxing. Yeah, bloody love these things. So I've used Airtec intercoolers loads in the past, been an Airtec fan since they first started making Vauxhall stuff really. It's always been good gear. Majority of it's made in the UK as well, which I like to see, and I'm a big fan of made in the UK stuff. Obviously it's difficult to make certain products in the UK, but yeah, the vast majority of their stuff is UK manufactured silicon. Yeah, all the finishing's all done in the UK, which is nice. Yeah, so we've got everything here, the intercooler core, all the fixings, hoses and pipes, so yeah, so keep unpacking. Cool tape, not quite as cool as enhanced tape, but you know, it's not bad. So originally, like in the kind of Vauxhall world, you could only really get Forge intercoolers. There were a couple of others, like for the Corsa D there was a Blizzard intercooler which Regal sold, and there was Courtney's own cooler, which is made by Pro Alloy, and then there was another one, I can't remember what it was, so there's another one, Pace intercooler that Thorny used to sell, and that was it really. And then I think it was about 2014, 15, Airtec, who were like massive in the Ford world, started selling Vauxhall products. Obviously, it was more or less a copy of the Forge kit, but a lot cheaper. I'm not sure it needed to be so cheap, to be honest. It was a good product, it worked really well. But you know, I think Forge had kind of held that market on their own for so long that it was easy for somebody to kind of come in and almost undercut them a bit. And I think they probably did the wrong thing by not really reacting. They didn't really lower prices where they maybe could have. They just kind of stuck to it, and yeah, now the name in the Vauxhall world for intercoolers is Airtec. So they kind of took over really. The first Airtec intercooler was like welded end tanks, which was, again, because that's kind of how the Forge ones were. And then as time went by, obviously, you know, with the more you make of something like that, it gets to a point where you need to change some of the processes in order to make more of them in a lesser period of time and actually make a better product. So that's when they went to these cast end tanks, which are a lot nicer. Don't get me wrong, a nice folded, welded end tank is nice, but from a kind of manufacturing and production perspective, they take a long time to make. These cast ones, because it's a totally different process, you can bang out loads of them, and it'll always be you can cast the shape that you just can't make cost effectively by cutting sheet and welding it together. So you end up with a better product, which is what we've got. So yeah, this is now like their stage 2 intercooler core really. Yeah, that's what we're going to be running on the van. Pipe work to go with it. Obviously this is the one that goes on the top here. It goes like that. Hose in the middle. Again, I'm pretty sure they still do all of the manufacturing of these in the UK. They definitely coat them all in the UK, I know that for sure. But again, like I said, I think it gets to a point where with some products it just becomes very hard to kind of manufacture them in the UK in the quantities that you need. But yeah, it's a good quality product. You know, you're looking for things on stuff like this. Like if we were to make something like this, you're looking for like, you know, does it feel like really thin and chintzy, like it's kind of Chinese material where there's no wall thickness there because they're trying to make it as thin and as cheap as possible. And it's not like that. You know, the welds are nice. It doesn't look all like Chinese welding. You know, you can just tell it's a good product. Then the hoses that go with. Funny thing with these hoses is that JS Performance make Pro hoses, which are the hoses that Airtec use in these kits, which is their own brand of hose, Pro hoses. So JS make these hoses. So JS have made these in Lincoln, shipped them to Airtec in Essex, and then they've come back here to Lincoln again. So some of these hoses we won't use. This is like a hose kit for the standard 1.9 intercooler and turbo. We're obviously not going to be using that because the GTB turbo will be exiting out the kind of to the floor rather than up to the bonnet. Some of these hoses we won't need, but we'll figure that out as we go because we'll just kind of use what we need and, you know, modify what we don't. And then again, what we've got in here is more pipe that we probably won't need. It's just straight pipe. It's been coated, so yeah. And then we've also got all our hose clips, which again they use JCS clips, which are the same clips that we use in all our induction kits. Stainless steel. They've got a nice rolled edge on the inside, so they don't cut into the silicon. You can tighten them up really tight. You know, because they're stainless, the like worm drive body is really thick. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm going a bit nerdy on hose clips, but these really are proper beefy, good hose clips. You almost can't beat them, really. And again, it's nice to see that they don't like cheap out on stuff like this, because again, that's one thing that we always try and do with our kits is not cheap out on. You know, you can make the intercooler really nice, but if the hoses are, you know, not round, weird coloured Chinese type hoses and they're using really thin, crappy, mild steel clips that go rusty in a year, it totally kind of changes your opinion of the quality of the rest of the kit. So yeah, it's nice to see that, you know, they're still using stainless steel clips like, you know, you kind of know they are. And then in here we've just got the brackets and the nuts and bolts. So the brackets you need, because when you take out the standard thinner intercooler, you lose all the mounting points for the aircon condenser. So that's what these brackets are for. They're to remount that. And again, nuts and bolts, and they're all stainless, which again is one of those things that a lot of people probably don't notice, but you definitely notice it in a year's time when they're all rusty and horrible. So it's, you know, we've always used stainless fixings in all of our kits for everything, and it's you know, it's nice to see that Airtec do that as well. You know, it's sometimes just the details, again, things you might not notice initially, but in a year's time when everything's starting to go rusty, you definitely do pick up on that. So yeah, nice stainless nuts and bolts. Fitting instructions as well. Fitted a few of these intercoolers now, so I don't think I need those, but yeah, so next thing to do is get it fitted up on the van.